Good morning, Australia.
Hello. Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm really good. Happy Halloween.
Well, I guess right back at you now that I know that it's celebrated over in other countries. I did not know that. I did not know
Well,
that. I'm so glad
it
you
was
brought
never
that to my attention.
it never was when I grew up. I mean, it was something that Americans do, some weird holiday in America. But now everyone all around the world does it, and kids love it. Kids
It
love it. I
is
was
so
surprised.
funny.
I was recently in Greece, and I was surprised there was Halloween paraphernalia in the shops, and I'm like, what? I thought that's a bit too much.
Oh, well, I think that's pretty awesome. Well, cool. Well, what are we going to do today, Chris?
Well, we're going to look at some eyes today. We love talking about eyes.
Yeah, yeah.
We're going to look at
Well,
someone's eyes. So
well,
I'm
let's.
gonna share my
Are
screen
you going to
and
share
bring
some?
one up.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Bring them up.
there we go.
Whoa.
Yeah, they're good, aren't they? They're almost like
Yeah,
our eyes.
look at that lipemic ring. Woo!
Yeah. So
Isn't that something?
this guy has probably one of the strongest lipemic rings I've ever seen.
Mm,
Just so white, isn't it?
very.
What we're doing is we're talking about this white ring around the edge. In Ray, it is called the ring of determination.
Hmm.
No, yeah. So they're determined people. It's like is their way or the highway, and they're right,
Hmm.
and they're right, and you're
Hmm.
wrong.
With
It's
this
not,
person, is that correct?
oh yeah, oh yeah.
Okay. Okay.
This is actually my first father-in-law. And he's a beautiful man. But
Mm,
he's very he knows a lot. He knows a
mm.
lot, and he's really
Very
very
determined.
steadfast in his thoughts. He's determined, absolutely. And he's getting older now, so he's getting older now, so he's forgetting a few things. But he's a lovely man and loved his daughter dearly, who died at a young age. She died in her late 20s. Um, and that made him really angry. I mean, it would make anyone angry, wouldn't it?
It would.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that could go on with this. You could be angry and very bitter and very, I want my daughter back and stay angry
Yeah,
and stay bitter, for a long,
yeah,
long time. So tell me how his demeanor is today. I mean, he's obviously been without his daughter for some time.
yeah.
And
For
I
about
know you
25
never
years,
get over that. A parent would never get over that and they still pine for their child. But has he softened as he's gotten older?
he has. He's soft in some ways,
Okay.
and and I really love seeing his face when my kids are around. So my kids call him Grandpa Jim, and I really love seeing his face when they're around and when he talks about them and stuff. But he is actually forgetting a few things now. So he's sort of like forgetting what they're studying and things like that. But he knows all their names and he knows
Mhm.
he's actually just come up to visit us.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, there is a hard shell around it though because
Mhm.
it's they, people like this protect themselves. They protect
Mhm.
themselves from hurt,
Mhm.
which is what a
Absolutely.
leukemic ring does.
Right. Right.
Protects the heart.
Right. Right. Um, One of the first things I noticed, and I want to talk about his eye on a behavior standpoint, and I started looking at the right eye. He's obviously a flower. Well, he's a shaker, but he's more flower, so he's shaker flower.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But one of the things that stood out to me, and I was looking at the right eye, which of course is the left one pictured on the screen, and about in that between 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock spot, there is a lacuna there, and it sits in the area of idealism. So we know that to be setting our goals very high. But if we look directly across that, we see spirituality in that area. Now, on the iridology chart, that's going to follow right around the lower area of the spine. And we know that the spine, a lot of times, is how strong and steady we stand. But the lower area connecting to the legs is also about moving forward. Okay. So I want to bring that out. But another area that I looked at, and it's straight down around that 7 o'clock area, you could almost say 7:30, if you will. I'm noticing some rarefaction in what is shaped as a lacuna to be anger. So
Yeah.
that would be anger towards the father, his father.
Yeah.
Do you know if that's true?
I never met his father. His father died at a young age.
Hmm.
I met his mother, and his mother was a beautiful,
Hmm.
beautiful, lovely young, lovely lady,
Hmm.
um, and very warm and kind and
Hmm.
friendly. I don't know much about the father, but I know that he didn't have as good a relationship with him as he
Okay.
did his mother.
Okay. Well, bringing up the mother, if we look over there to the right side of the screen and look at the left eye, about the 2 o'clock spot, if you will, we notice the area called will, and that has to do with strong will.
Yeah,
And the parent, the I parent, if he's a one boy, the mother, could have instilled a strong will in him. We get these genetically. These are genetic marks, but we also get
yeah,
these behaviors genetically as well. And then going straight down to probably what we would refer to as the 3:30 area, just before the 4 o'clock. Another lacuna in that particular area sits in possessive and protective, over possessive,
yeah,
over protectiveness. And the mother could have been very much this way with him as well. Okay.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
I
And
want to bring that out.
yeah, he is a very protective person. The people that he loves, he's fiercely protective of them.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
and also, I just want to point out that there's quite a few lacuna in the pancreas areas at like 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock, in both eyes,
Mm-hmm.
and that to me brings a really great sense of love. So
Mm-hmm.
he's very, very loving, and also he's diabetic. I mean, obviously,
Oh, okay.
when there's a pancreas nurture
Yep.
point,
Yep.
that the predisposition to that becomes greater. So
Mm-hmm.
he is diabetic, but with children and animals especially, it just really melts him. Like we've got a kind of a crazy 1 year old dog at the moment, and when Jim was over like last week, the dog just loved him and would sit on his lap. And I just sort of, I normally don't let the dog on the couch and all of that, but all those rules went out the window because Jim he just, the dog just melted to him and he melted to the dog. He's got such a strong sense of connection with some things,
Right.
with some things like kids and like animals.
Right.
It's a shame because he's older, it would be hard for him to have an animal or
Mm-hmm.
have a new animal, but it would be really good for him because it does soften him.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
at the moment, he's not as mobile as he was. So he spends a lot of time at home, so a dog would be perfect
Mm-hmm.
to some
Mm-hmm.
degree. Yeah.
You,
But
you
isn't
know
it
what?
interesting?
You always
Yeah,
trust the dog to go to the right person.
I know, I
The
know.
dog
The
will do
dog
that, and children
bypasses
will
me.
too. Children will
The
too. They
dog the dog
naturally.
bypasses me completely. Like
Yeah.
I'm not a
Yeah.
dog, so
Yeah.
it bypasses me and goes straight to whoever will pat it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. That's really, really awesome. Well, good. Good.
Isn't
Well.
it isn't it interesting? Isn't it interesting that we have the yellow on the
Mm-hmm.
leukemic edge at the top?
Mm-hmm.
Mm. And he does have a lot of liver and other issues. He's had bowel cancer.
Mm-hmm.
He's actually currently got some prostate cancer, and the beauty of forgetting things is that he's forgotten about that, even though he's had
Wow.
the test. So and he doesn't have to have anything done. He's just going to be checked in a few months
Sure.
again. But he's kind of like he just plots along. He's quite happy, reads a paper, has. And one thing that he always loves is great food. He loves great food, and they always go to an effort to make a good dinner and a good lunch. Um, so and
Mm-hmm.
celebrating, even though
Mm-hmm.
he only had one daughter, only had one child, but really celebrate the special times, anniversaries, things like that, which is awesome. And I think in some ways that softens the heart as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, because for Jim, I think it's really important to have those times where he does feel connected. Like he's a very connecting, but even though he's got that hard shell, he's
Mm-hmm.
like quite soft in the middle.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's really nice to have those connecting times, those connections.
It's like a little
Yeah,
Cadbury egg,
yeah,
hard shell on the outside and soft in the center.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah,
And isn't
that's
it
awesome.
interesting? He's got that ring of perfection in the middle, quite strong, isn't it? And
Yes.
and like I mean, when I'm talking about the ring of perfection, I'm talking about
Mm,
this halo around the
mhm,
pupil.
mhm.
And in a physical term, that often means that he's not digesting. It's harder for him to digest his minerals and his get nourishment from his food. He often
Nutrients.
help with that.
Right.
But but also it's a ring of perfection, and he is a perfectionist.
Mhm.
He,
What was his chosen profession?
he used to work for the SEC, which was like an electrical. He was like not an electrician, but he worked for the electrical company. Well,
Okay.
when
Okay.
electricity was owned by the government, he worked for that company, and after that, he cut trees,
Hmm.
and that was the last job that I knew. Yeah,
Cool.
you've got a bit of a lovely chime there. Mm.
I never know when it's going to happen either. And you think I would. I think it goes off every 15 minutes, and you think I would be used to it by now, but I'm not. Oh, well, that's great, Chris. He sounds like a lovely guy. He really does.
He
I
is.
mean,
He is.
he just sounds like someone
Yeah.
everybody would want to know.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's good.
It's really really fun at a party. But yeah, there's just that hard exterior. But I think a lot of it's protecting his heart.
Yeah, yeah. And
Mm,
he's a flower. He's more shaker flower. He's going to be open. He's going to be very receiving of others, and that may be why the children and the dogs just flock to him like they do.
yeah,
But
yeah,
sounds like a great guy.
yeah.
Yeah,
Cool. So we've got two lovely rings there in Rayed, and we've got lots of behavioral things
yeah,
and obviously lots of physical things too,
yeah,
haven't we?
yeah. Yeah,
Mm,
and you wouldn't, on a behavioral level, you wouldn't want to sit down in one meeting and just pick this eye to pieces.
no.
You just
Oh
want
God,
to
no.
kind of point out the obvious and let people mull it over and then move on and
So,
maybe reflect on it later. But
yeah.
there's a
If you
lot to
saw
look
if you saw this on a consultation, there's too much to focus on. So that's why I focused on the ring of determination, the
Yes,
ring of perfection,
yes,
and I mentioned the pancreatic
yes,
tendency.
yes,
Yeah.
and
So if you
maybe
focus on those things
yeah,
in giving them advice, lifestyle advice, and
mhm,
dietary advice, you'd be on a winner.
yep, absolutely every time. Well, thank you for showing this. This is
Thank
great.
you.
I love it.
Yeah. Always
Uh,
great to chew eyes with you.
yes. Yeah, when we can get two eyes together on the same page, we're doing good. We
That's
are
great.
doing good. Well, that's great. So I guess maybe next time we'll get together, we'll either talk to someone or we're going to do some more eyes. No telling what we'll
We
do,
will.
but I know you've got to run. I've got to run. So
We'll do it around the world.
you you have a great day around the
I'm
world.
off. I'm off soon to a conference in the Philippines, so there'll be lots of eyes there.
Oh, well, I expect to see lots of eyes then. You might want to grab us a person or two to interview.
We will. We
Okay,
will.
very good.
All right. See
All
you
right,
soon.
mate. I'll see you.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.